Okay, today we're going to start mudding some drywall, getting these corners here. These are 45-degree angles, so they're going to be fun to work with because I need to line them up so that when they do the concrete board, it's nice and creased right down the center of it. Yes, I made the mistake of calling the angle 45 degrees. Twice I did that. That's just my dyslexic mind working on me. So you just go like this. Work it into that corner crack as much as you possibly can. Then you take this paper and you get the length you need. And crease it real good. Stick it in that corner. And then you want to glob a bunch more on there. Getting that paper nice and saturated with the compound. It's squished in there real good. You can take a bigger trowel. Just like this and fan it out. There. Now that is good and embedded. Probably put one more coat on that later after that dries and sand it real good. Should be good to go. Glob it in the mud. Glob it in there good. This will prevent cracking. Now this is a 45-degree angle, so I have to be a little bit more careful about how I set that center in the crease. Blah 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 blabble blabble blabble. I just kept talking unnecessarily. So I decided to slam it into high speed and add the music. Smush it in that crack. Smoosh it, smoosh it. And get it in your beard. Make sure you get a lot of it in your beard. You use that for extra hold later. This is pretty much the only corner bead I have to use in the whole bathroom is this little 15-inch piece. So cut that to length, go down just a little bit. It's a good thing I put a rolly cart under this tub. I've moved it around so much. It should have an odometer on it so I can see how many miles I've gone. Unfortunately, this section was wider than 4 feet, so I had to put this little piece in here, which is not really ideal at all, because it means you have to do a seam right up next to the wall. And there was no avoiding it. Now, I don't feel it's necessary to put a big old glob of joint compound on a tiny screw hole. So I just use a regular little paint mixing knife, and it works just fine. Alrighty, this is going to be where you're really happy you didn't glob on a whole bunch of drywall compound on your seams. Because now you can take a 10-inch trowel like this and you can easily glide it along all your seams and knock down those high points. So I'm not doing a whole lot of mudding right now. So I like to just mix up as much as I think I'll need for maybe a couple of joints. I'll use some distilled water and get it a little bit wetter than what it comes out of the thing. And then I'll mix that in. I want this to be real easy to smooth and trowel on. This is the second coat. And I like to get the second coat as good as I possibly can, because what I like to do is sand the second coat and then primer the walls. Then I do a third coat to perfection, and then I'll prime the walls again. Especially if I do a second coat of primer, it'll probably be a primer that is designed for bathrooms and moistured areas. I am in no way a professional drywaller, mudder. This is just the way I do it. I usually don't have to do a whole lot of drywall mudding when I'm doing a room, because I like to use heavy trim and paneling and other things to avoid it. I'm using a 6-inch trowel right now, and I'm just getting it on there. And on my clothes, of course. So now, after getting it on there with the 6-inch trowel, I'll take this 12-inch trowel and just run it along here. Alrighty, so this concludes the second coat. Now, because I didn't glob it on there to death, I shouldn't have to sand a whole lot. And then we'll decide how we're going to do the third coat. Am I going to do it before or after a first coat of primer? We'll see. See how well it goes. Now that the second coat is dry, in theory I should be able to take this 10-inch trowel and skim it over top of all the joints and get that high point down. And if I did it well enough, I should be able to do a light sanding, and then I can put my first coat of primer on. Remember, the video isn't over till Paco says, "What? Wow, I can tell you one thing, that was a pretty smooth second coat because not a whole lot got scraped off. I can do a light sanding, and I think I'm going to be able to primer. Everybody hates sanding, but if you do it right in the second coat of mudding, you won't have to do a whole lot. I always love working on the corners because the results is so satisfying. Now I'm going to get my mask on and go to town. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to smash that little bell button so you can be notified of future videos. Wear a mask. You don't want this stuff in your lungs.
Oh yeah? You're looking at me? What?